Hi there, I'm Teresa Maron, and I'm the Learn To Queen. The niche and passion of my expertise is creating conscious content in the self-help and personal development field because I truly believe that conscious content creation by people like you is changing the world. Join me and my guest expert collaboration partners for an inside look at the problem-solving industry. We want to help you so that you can help others. Hi there, and welcome to Create a Three-Part Program, the third in the Create a Free Gift to Attract, Wow, and Woo Your Ideal Client series. I'm Teresa Maron, the Learn To Queen, and I am so glad you are here today. Let me congratulate you on taking the next action step in the journey to help yourself so that you can help others. In part one of Create a Three-Part Program, we focus on how to tie your message to your story. This key element can do more to add value to your service and result in more income to your business than anything else. Now, I'm going to share with you 3 personality traits that all compassionate, heart-centered, empathetic people have. And you know what? That's not the problem. It just becomes a problem if you bring those elements into a business. And the trick is, because the self-help and personal development business is based on those exact qualities, it just seems to get all mishmashed up and it becomes self-limiting. Now, there's 3 ideas that I want to explore today. 3 perceptions, misconceptions, or problems. And I have noticed that almost all of the self-help and personal development professionals, especially the good ones, they all share these same problems before they experience huge success. They fix it, and then their business just takes off. It soars. Now, because I'm a clarity coach, I'm going to explain this as a lack of message clarity, but it really goes much deeper than that. These profound misconceptions are not black and white. Those are easy to fix. If something is black and white, you can easily jump on one side of the fence or the other. Those are not difficult decisions and doesn't usually result in a lack of message clarity. The problem is when it is a very simple and very subtle shift of perception that can result in huge changes. I mean, this is how you get the results that you want to achieve. And speaking of results, if you want to know if you have these 3 personality traits, it's simple. Are you getting the results you want in your business? If the answer is no, then you do have them, at least to some degree. And we're really going to break these down today in this class. But let me go ahead and give you the short version so you can start wrapping your head around it. The first misconception or perception is that you think there is something you are missing, not good at, that you need to learn, implement, or hire someone else to be successful. Or you feel like you're being judged or compared to others because you're new in your field, so you overcompensate with professionalism. You confuse telling a potential client what's best for them because you're not sure if it's supposed to be a call to action or if you're closing a sales agreement, or all of these things get all confused. So you just avoid it altogether and decide it's easier to show a new client the results than to explain it to them, thus devaluing your time and also wasting your time much of the time. Now, I said it was self-limiting, and we've all heard about subconscious self-limiting beliefs, and it always sounds like the big bad wolf to me. But since I'm a clarity coach, and because my tribe follows me, because I seem to be able to put things in a simple language, I decided to create this class, and I hope that at the end of it you understand what I'm telling you, because I feel like I'm an expert on message clarity only because I struggled with it. Anyway, before we get back to this in detail, I want you to know how this three-part program fits in with my system, Create a Free Gift to Attract, Wow, and Woo Your Ideal Client. Now, I said that this was the third part of the series, and I think that was a little confusing, actually, because I have a book, Create a Free Gift. I have a workbook, Create a Free Gift workbook, and then I also have this three-part program. So this is the third stage of the series, but since it's a three-part series, or a three-part program, this is part one of that. And I want to tell you how this fits in. I have a 10-point system, and in the workbook, you learned to use the very same structure for every medium, every format, every type of event that you participate in. So if you're creating your own three-part program, you'll be expanding on point 7, which is the problem, point 8, which is the solution, and point 9, which is the results that only you can share. However, you're still going to structure it using the full 10-point plan. That means you can see that I began my class today with a title and a tagline. Then I used my short description, went into my synopsis, I did my call out to my ideal client, then I continued into my short description of benefits, and we're going to resume with my long description of benefits, because it really all comes back to defining why you're the expert, who benefits from it, and what problem you solve. When you plug in your special, unique story, your background, your experiences into the format that I've created, then you will start to create content that works exactly for you, that you can market under your own brand. What I'm doing today is giving you a very clear look at some of the things that you can use in creating your three-part program, but also as a business development course for you to get complete message clarity. Now, many of you have already read my free report that you can get on my website, teresamaron.us. It's called Message Clarity in 30 Seconds. And you know that a powerful message clarity comes together with 3 steps that I call your clarity goals. Your personal clarity goal, your ideal client clarity goal, and your results clarity goal. This is the very beginning baby steps that I offer as my free gift to let you know a few of the things that I teach and what matters to me, what I've learned, and what it's like to work with me. At the end of that, my call to action is for you to get my book, then my workbook, and then to create a 3-part program of your own. I do have a package that offers all of these things for a discounted rate and also includes a private session with me, and I hope that that's what you are all on right now. Because no matter how clearly I write things, it's always better to have fresh eyes on a project, and that's exactly what I would love to do for you. Now, when all of your marketing comes together and you see your brand start to soar with a life of its own, it's very exciting because you have put so much time and effort into your business, and I know that if you're in the self-help and personal development business, that it is something you have passion for and it means so much. So today, once again, we're going to tie your message to your story. This is a deep look inside how you get to your unique message and how to tie it to the story. And I can't say enough that it all really starts with message clarity. In my free report, we answer the question, what do you say if you only have 30 seconds? Now, we're going to go far beyond 30 seconds today, but the basics are still. You have to connect your story with your message. You have to connect your story to the problem, and you have to share your expert solution with your results. Now, let's just kind of slow down a little bit and talk about my book, Create a Free Gift to Attract, Wow, and Woo Your Ideal Client. That's about my story. The book does go into how I developed my 10-point system, and it gives you a real sense for how I work. But it's really a snapshot on the beginning of online marketing. I started content marketing my own line back in the late 80s, and I was there when, in the mid-90s, Amazon opens its virtual doors. This book that I wrote tells the story of how I had to go with the flow of moving from, trade magazines and people who were purchasing items 6 months previous to actually receiving them and marketing them, and working with snail mail. And, it was completely different. We were working with wholesale, retail, and when things progressed into an online presence, we had to learn a lot of these skills very quickly. And the we that I'm talking about is my agent, my distributor, my manager, and my collaboration partner, who's Cultura International Films. And we work together to this day. But back in the mid-90s, the late 80s, mid-90s, they were considered top in their field in arts and entertainment. And I actually was brought on when they wanted to develop their instructional department. So I was one of the very first instructional creators, learned from the bottom, from the ground up, in the how-to field. That's why I call myself the Learn-To Queen. Now, they already had a crack expert sales team, marketing and development specialists, content creators, artists who were capable of creating cover art, copywriting experts, and people who put together formats and wrote scripts. In short, as a new writer-producer, I was being supported by the best in the business. Now, Cultura was on the cutting edge before online sales. They were able to make the adjustments to stay on the cutting edge of a whole new industry, teaching me as we came into the new paradigm. And they are still on the cutting edge with streaming downloads and an online television show. Now, I am regularly an Amazon pick of the week with my products through Cultura International Films, and we released a 3-part program with them just this last October. So that's an ongoing relationship that supports me in every way, and that's why I wanted to kind of shift the focus of my business. I had the gift of being able to work with the very best. And what's going on with me now is that I really got clear on message marketing, clarity coaching, and conscious content marketing. I have always seen myself as a content creator, but being a clarity coach has been fairly recent. And wanting and having a passion and desire to help other people develop products under their own brand to market for their own business is something that I have just recently started to do. I've been busy creating my own lines, and I loved that. I've been doing research for my meditation and holistic stress management products. But what happened is I saw so many self-help and personal development professionals, teachers, healers, coaches going through the same struggles that I had when I was learning to market online that I thought, I should really, create something for them. And these were my friends and my clients and my peers. And actually, I started helping some of them with product and curriculum development, but I hadn't really processed that I had a system. I'll be quite honest with you. The system evolved through working with all the professionals at Cultura and what I was doing on my own. I hadn't really sat down and said, okay, 1, 2, 3, and created the format or the system to teach this process like I do with my personal content. And when I realized that I really was doing the same thing over and over in the same system, the same order, I decided to write this book and get it all organized in print. Now, as soon as I wrote it, I realized, I need to do a workbook because the workbook is designed to teach you a few writing skills. It's really a copywriting curriculum. It teaches you how to take a full sentence, make it into bullet points. It teaches you how to use some adjectives and phrases and create a paragraph. It teaches you how to do all the things that you need to take your message and structure it into a short description or a blog post or an expert speaking engagement. It shows you how to create a description of a product from just a few phrases. And, I have to say once again, it's a copywriting course, but there's only one subject that you work on, and that is you, your message. So, The progression is this. My free report tells you if you have the problem I solve. That's message clarity. My book shares my journey, my system, and what it's like to work with me, where I'm coming from. The workbook gets you started creating your own content with a game plan. And this course, Create a 3-Part Program, gets you into the place where you can create clients to take that first step of purchasing a product that gets them to join your tribe. So, let's go back to that first misconception or problem. Now, things have gone from fast to faster to lightning. Many people in the self-help and personal development field, and others, but my niche, the people that I talk to, are people who want conscious content. And those are the ones that I've noticed have gotten to a sense of frustration. And that sense of frustration comes from being very heart-centered, empathetic, compassionate, and wanting to really make a difference. And they all have a very valuable gift and a story to share, and they just can't get over that hump of getting the word out there. I mean, there's many people, maybe without the same level of giftedness, but they have better technical skills. Or they can afford to invest some money into some companies who can market for them, branding and marketing companies and such. So a lot of the finest of us are getting lost in the shuffle. Now that's what I'm talking about, that frustration that you feel like you need to hire someone or learn something you don't know how to do, or get out of your own body and bring someone in. It's very, very difficult for people like us to figure out who's the right person to do that, because most of the people with that skill set don't really understand, not at the deep core level that they need to understand what it is that's going to make us unique and get our message out there. They can figure out a web program, or they can do some social media posts, or they can even create a logo, but can they really identify that one thing that makes you stand out from the crowd and get your business going to the next level? That's the problem. So, do any of these scenarios resonate with you? You have great products, a curriculum, or a service, but you've either been too busy to learn marketing because of working one-on-one, or you feel your marketing skills are behind the curve because things change so fast, and you know you need to leverage your time because you're tired and you don't know how you're going to retire because you're working one-on-one. Or you've been working in a job, corporate or in some non-related field to your real expertise and to the passion that you feel for it, and you're looking for a game plan to make a jump to a different way to represent yourself, kind of feeling stuck. Or you've already made that leap. You're in a situation where you're looking for clients, you're barely making ends meet, and you're starting to lose your enthusiasm because you're feeling confused about what's going to work for you. Things aren't working. And you know you need to up your marketing skills, but there's just not enough time in the day to learn all these new skills, and you get what I'm saying. And that's what this class is all about. That's where I come in. That's where the clarity coach comes in, because I'm telling you, that's a misconception, all of that. Doesn't mean it's not a valid fear. It just means that your perception of that fear is a little bit off. So let me take you through a mindset. This is a level of perception of where you're at that I feel like we've all been there. You might be there now. I know I used to be there. I had to go through this transition to get to my aha moment, because I had to face the limiting belief that was holding me back. And we're still talking about point number one, that there's something out there, something I don't know, something I need to hire, something I need to learn that's going to get me where I need to go. And let me share with you this. I know that you know what you know and how to do it. The frustration is that you know the truth is it's just not enough anymore. It's not enough anymore to be brilliant. You have to let people know how brilliant you are. That's message clarity. connecting your message to your story, connecting your story to the problem, and having a call to action with results, not your resume. Now, when you really get what I'm understanding by the end of this hour, it's going to be a sigh of relief. Because if you're not getting the results you want, you're not doing this well. And believe me, just a few years ago, I wasn't doing it well. And I heard people talking about stuff like this, and I was just tuning them out because I thought I was fine. I was fine. I was professional. I was doing fine with the way that I was presenting my products and services. I was doing fine. I was just telling myself, it's hard. There's a lot of people out there that do what I do, and it takes time. And to work my way into having the money I want, the job I want, the acknowledgement I want, and the clients I want just takes time. I'm doing the best I can, and I am doing so much better. I've got this amount of clients, I've got this amount of money, I'm doing this, my message clarity is fine. I know who I am, and I know what I'm doing. And I know when I get a client that I know what to do. I know my products and services, and I know how to handle a good client. Actually, I'm 100% on that. If I could just get, if I can just get a client to commit to my products and services, I never have a complaint. But it takes finding them and getting them and going to network meetings and working social media. And, I'm taking some classes in social media right now and copywriting. I could use some help in copywriting. And I'm going to networking events. And I'm meeting people. And I'm going to get some new business cards. I could do better on my business cards. I could improve my business cards. Have you been there? Do you resonate with all of that? The mindset, there's something out there that would make a difference, something that I just haven't thought of, something other people seem to get. I don't know why I'm missing it. If I could tell you how many times I thought that if I just had the right flyer or business card, or if I could find and hire the right person to show me the right way to do my social media, if I could tell you how many times I thought that. I am not telling you anything but the truth when I tell you that that was driving me crazy. And you see, none of this is what I really want to do. I'm not good with social media. I don't even get social media. I don't even know why I do social media. As far as it pertains to a business, I understand why I want to see pictures of my daughter when she takes my grandkids. I get it, but using it as a business seems to be, it's not my passion. Let me just put it like that. Have you ever thought these thoughts and felt these feelings? I have to do this to get what I want. And I don't want to be doing this every day. It's taking all my time. But if I want to be a success, I have to do all this. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. Is your message connecting to your story? Does your story connect to your problem? And is your call to action about your resume or about your results? We got to still break it down one at a time and be real. Now, listen, I am showing you who I really am. And at the beginning, at the end of this class, I think you're going to understand why I'm doing this. Given the choice, I'd really rather be like Angelina Jolie or Amal Alamuddin. A personality. Because being Teresa Maron in a class like this, it has its pluses and minuses. It's easier to hide behind a persona. It's easier to become someone else and put it out there than it is to be, for me, Teresa Maron. So if you catch my drift right now, is your message connecting to your story? I know you're all saying yes. I know you still don't really get what I'm saying. I know you're all saying that you feel like you're being transparent and authentic and that you have your message down. And I have to tell you, I really didn't even know what that meant. Connecting my message to my story, I didn't really even know what that meant. I didn't even know what that meant for so long until recently. And recently, when I figured it out, what connecting my message to my story really meant, it was terrifying. However, connecting my message to my story is the big secret. It's the secret sauce. It's the superpower to having success in your business. It's the thing that takes the mask off. Now, a persona, as defined by the Wikipedia, is a character put on by an actor to create a fictional person for a play, a book, or a movie. But what I'm talking about here is creating a persona that's the total opposite of that. It's taking the mask off and showing your true, real self, and therefore becoming your brand and your message. It's starting to live, walk, and breathe your message. Because when your message becomes who you are, and you quit trying to be right, correct, or even worse, and now we're to the second problem, professional, then your message becomes about what broke you. Because if you're in the self-help and personal development business, something did. Something did. Something went wrong and you had to figure it out. And when you did figure it out, you wanted to share it with others who were struggling with the same thing because you knew you could help. This is the foundation of the self-help and personal development business. No one had answers for you, and you know that as you help others, you help yourself and you begin to heal. This is what it's all about. Now, when this starts to shine through everything you do, from your 30-second intro to your 1-hour presentation, to your website, to your business card, and everything in between, and it's on your website and your audios and the videos you promote and your one-sheets and your business cards and everything you ever allow to have your name on, then you've tied your message to your story. Now let's talk a little bit more about this second misconception, professionalism. Now let me just tell you, professionalism, it's great. We all strive to be our best. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. This one word holds so many of us back. Professionalism. Now I've heard about that place and the brochure looks really nice, but I have never really visited there. I mean, the imposter syndrome is hidden by professionalism. The one thing that I've noticed in every self-help and professional development person, including me, is that we all want to have the right answer. We all want to be the one with the answer. And in order to be that person with the right answer, then we never were broken. We never had to be fixed. And we all feel that if anyone finds out that we had that problem that we're supposed to be able to fix, and that we were never broken, and we never had that challenge, that if we get found out, no one will hire us. That is a big misconception. So we hide that very tender and sensitive part of our journey, and we worry all the time that we're going to get found out, and we go to great lengths of appearing right and professional and competent. But the truth of the matter is, you never have success in the self-help and personal development business until you share how broke you were and how you fixed it. Because no one trusts anyone. Clients don't trust anyone. People who have money to spend and want to give it to someone to help them get fixed don't spend it with someone who is never broken. Your ideal client is in pain with what you used to struggle with. And they want someone to fix them that gets them. And how on earth can anyone trust you to have the keys to the castle here unless you had the same problem. Big misperception. So the way that you bridge that gap, okay, these are the words that you add into your message that connects it to the story. That's the bridge. I know how you feel. I have felt that way before. This is what worked for me, and this is what I can do for you. Now that little structure, that verbiage, if you can fill in with your story, I know how you feel, I have felt that way before, this is what worked for me, and this is what I can do for you. That's how you tie your message to the story. Now, let's just explore this a little bit more. Why do all of us run around thinking if anyone finds out how broken I was, I'll never get a client, when we know it's the opposite? I'll never get a client until I share how broken, hopeless, lost, scared, and broken and pathetic. And I mean, come on. That's how I found the keys. That's how I know how to fix the problem. Because no one, and I know you have the keys because no one wants to start a self-help and personal development business until you get the keys, because that's when you feel like, oh, I want to shout from the rooftops, because there was no one there to help you when you were struggling, and you don't want anyone else to go through that. So now you've got the keys to the castle, and you've got to share that. You've got to shout it from the rooftops. It's just, quite frankly, I think the reason that we all struggle with this is because we're all still damaged. We're all damaged from the struggle, from the challenge, from the memories, from the subconscious stress, from when we were struggling with the challenge. And the problem, we're still damaged from having to deal with finding the keys to fix this problem. It was highly stressful. But the truth is that none of us really want to start a business in the self-help and personal development field until we start that healing process. And we know as we heal ourselves, we help ourselves, and then we can help others. So, are you connecting your message to your story? Let me give you a few examples of connecting your message with your story so you really get the picture of what I mean. And first of all, I'm going to go totally clueless, and it's a really bad example. And I'm exaggerating because it's painful to listen to, because we've all been there. So I'm going to exaggerate it so we can laugh about it, but I think that underneath the exaggeration, you're going to see that this is where we all start, okay? Because all of us have the same fear, and all of us have the same insecurity, and all of us are going to get this exactly. So the thing is, we're going to start with that 30-second elevator speech, because this is where message clarity starts, and this is where we have to really be on point. It's very intimidating. 30 seconds, elevator speech. I can't think of anything more terrifying than, being on the spot with the simple question, what do you do? All right. So, Teresa, I hear you've started something new. What is it that you do? Well, I'm an energy worker, and I've studied with Matsu Oko-Yuno, and I got my certification last September. And Matsu Oko-Yuno has a lineage of 6,000 years. Well, that's interesting information. And of course, I made up the name, Matsu Oko-Yuno. Dear God, I hope there's no one with that name really. I did make it up in case there is. I don't know you. But this answer leaves out anything that would connect your message with your story. It's a 0 score. It scored flat out 0. It's about Matsu Oko-Yuno's story. It ties his message with his story, and it gives a testimonial of a happy client, which is you. If you answer the question, what did you do, with this type of answer, you're telling the story with the expectation that now that you're certified, you can use some of the Matsu Oko-Yuno star power to impress a client to start sessions with you. This is a big mistake. The message does not move someone to action with you as a practitioner. It only moves someone to action if A, they want to study energy medicine, and B, they want to study with Matsuoka Yuno. Best case scenario, you get a referral fee, but net value to your business here is zero. Now, let's try this again. Let's go to someone who's connecting their message with their story with a lot more success. It's better, and it's not perfect, but it's certainly better, and I have been guilty of this approach, and it wasn't that long ago. Now, this is someone who's refined the message in the story. They've got a clue about tying it together, and they've probably taken some online marketing courses, and they're probably working with someone on social media. So let's try it again. Teresa, I heard you're starting something new. Now, what is it that you do? Oh, thanks for asking. I'm in the self-help and personal development business, and my clients experience great transformation through being able to work their challenges through in energy medicine. Well, that's a little better, but it's kind of a fill in the blank. It's too general. Anyone could say these words. But points are made because it's very cheerleader, very motivational, very enthusiastic. It's a much better try of connecting the story to the message. And because at least this version kind of connects some results and kind of connects some methodology. You might just get a few clients based on your personality because you're fun to be around. But it's still a miss. It's falling short of real success. Now let me show you what works. And you know, you figure this one out. So Teresa, what do you do? I heard you started something new. Thanks for asking. Yes, I have. I'm the Learn To Queen. I help you to help others by creating conscious content in the self-help and personal development business. It's your unique conscious content with my system, and it allows you to share your experiences in the form of a curriculum or program that can change the world. Now, that's my short format 30 seconds, the so-called elevator speech, but you know what? I think you might see here that the way that I do it, you're going to kind of get me, you're going to remember me, and I'm going to stand out. The buzzwords are, I'm the Learn To Queen. I'm going to help you so you can help others, creating a question, how? I'm going to teach you to create conscious content. They're going to be like, I have conscious content? Using your unique background. Really? What's unique about me? And experiences to create programs and curriculum. Wow, you know, I've been thinking about that. That can change the world. Ooh, lofty goal. You've got like 5 or 6 things right there that I've just said that call you to action. I've jam-packed my 30 seconds, my so-called elevator speech, with 5 or 6 things that my ideal client would react to. Helping you so you can help others. Create conscious content. Use your unique background and experience to create programs. Change the world. And for sure, Learn To Queen's they've got to wonder, what does that mean? So, what works? What I'm trying to tell you that works in message clarity is that you think to yourself and develop your 30-second elevator speech that your ideal client is going to hear your jungle drum. They're going to pick up and want to ask a question. You've got their full attention because now they want to talk to you about something specific that you triggered in them. All right? That's what we're talking about. That's what the workbook is supposed to bring you to. And that's why it's important for you to hear this class today, to know how to use that workbook so you can create what I just said. Now, let's take this a little deeper, because I know who my ideal client is. So the things that I really wanted to say is your unique voice with my system. Now, what that does is help them relax because they don't know how to do it. Help you so you can help others. I feel like I'm going to waste. All right? No one's calling me. I've got all these gifts. I've had all these struggles. I want to share them. Learn to, Queen. I'm showing you how to do a learn to, an instructional. Wow. I'm frustrated because I don't know how to do those things. You know, the next question they're going to ask is how much does that cost, but I'm not going to let them go there yet. I want them to know that they don't really know my whole story, all right? But they do know that I get theirs. That if they don't get some help, they can't turn their unique background and experience into something that can go in an online class so that they can help others and change the world. And I truly believe it. It is my passion because I do believe that conscious content from people just like my ideal clients is what is changing the world. So that comes through. My story and my message comes through my 30 seconds. Plus, it triggers a response from the people that I'm meant to work with. Now, let's just go a little deeper here. My ideal client, which I hope is you, knows that without their content being out there, which it's not because you're having trouble doing it because you're not an expert in social media or a web designer or a graphics artist, so you're working 12 hours a day being something that you don't even want to be. You're a person with a unique gift and story and point of view that has something to share and teach that probably hundreds of thousands of people could benefit from. And if you could just get your voice out there, you might not only change the world, you might just change your pocketbook, and you deserve that. Now that's connecting your message to your story. So people get you, and they get you right away. Now we've gone pretty deep now. I think you understand the progression and where I started way, way long ago and where we are right now. You want people to get you, and you want to get them right away. And there's a message clarity moment there. There's a method to the madness. That's what this program's all about. Now, this is the relief. Remember I told you by the end of this class you were going to have some relief? That is the only responsibility you have to make sure they get you. To figure out how to get message clarity from a very deep level like I just demonstrated so that people get you right away. Because if they get you and they don't hire you, they're not your ideal client, and that's fine. In fact, that's perfect. But don't miss the opportunity to work with someone who needs you and who you can help because you don't have message clarity and your client doesn't hear your jungle drum. Now, let me just say that everyone I've ever talked to in the self-help and personal development business gets that this is what they want to do. They do get it. They want to help others. They want to make a difference. They want to change the world. But I've heard people who had so much to share, probably people just like you, that are listening to me right now, say things like, well, I just want to work with evolved people. I mean, that tells me they've given up. Or, I just can't do this right now. I need to do something else for a little while longer. And, the truth is that this frustration and this desire to give up is not because they don't think they're good at what they do. It's because all this other stuff has become such a burden. Now, the big secret is this. If you have message clarity and your jungle drum is sending the right message to the right tribe and you have your ideal clients coming to you, you can hire the rest of this stuff. And part of my service is to help you find people that understand people just like you, because I understand people like you, because I am just like you. And the big secret here is that there's a couple of other things you need to implement, and we're going to go into that now. The third big problem, we're segueing into the third great problem, and I do want to just finish one more thought before that you cannot be all things to your business. If you're a solopreneur and a teacher and a healer and a coach and a person who works one-on-one and wants online programs and all these different things, you always hear people say you've got to prioritize your time. You've got to hire out what you need hired out, do what you do best, and hire out the rest. But there's a lot of you out there that can't afford to hire anybody because you're not making enough money to even know where you're going to throw $100 to create that landing page that then comes to you, and because you didn't say SEO, it doesn't work because you didn't know the verbiage. That's what I'm trying to say is get this one thing down. That's all you have to get down. It's how to represent yourself as a unique individual with a voice, a product, and a service to share. If you can just get that out of this fairly affordable course from me, I can take you to the next step, and I want to. All right, so let's segue into problem number 3, that, we're getting confused between calls to action and sales techniques and closing a sale and all this stuff, and forget it. The only type of person that does not have to worry about is you, that doesn't have to worry about those techniques, is self-help and personal development. Now, of course, you do need to close sales. You do need calls to action. You do need marketing and sales techniques, but it's different for you. And I'm going to make this so easy for you. Because the self-help and personal development professional does not want to sound salesy and icky and like a used car. Because the people that they're working with are having a big problem, or they are not getting hired. People that are my ideal client are struggling. They burst into tears. They're depressed. There are a lot of them having financial, relationship, career, all kinds of challenges, and you don't want to sound like you're closing a deal for a stereo or, well, let's just use the used car. Everybody knows that. So what you need to have the confidence to say, all right, and this is back to message clarity, you need my help to transform this today. That is the only thing you need to say. You need my help to transform this today. Now let me take you through this. Don't you remember how you felt when you were hopeless and lost and struggling? I do. What would you have wanted to hear? Do you say that? Or are you still stuck in your own fears? That professionalism thing again. Well, I'll just demonstrate how I work and maybe they'll get me and hire me. No, you have to take the mask off and quit being professional and let the pain show through and tell the person that you know is your tribe, I know how you feel. I've felt that way before. This is what worked for me. This is what I could do for you. And you need my help to transform this today. Do you see how that works? You're not talking about how much or when or how or who or where. You're getting right to the point. Because they're struggling. Not you. You're not struggling anymore. They are. And you need to get them, not the other way around. This is the perception. If they're in front of you and they're talking about their problem, then they are your ideal client. You need to tell them, I know how you feel. I've felt that way before. This is what worked for me. This is what I can do for you. And you need my help to transform this today. If you say those things, you have message clarity. Now, many self-help and personal development professionals do not have this go-to verbiage in the back of their mind. So when someone says, well, what do you do? They say, oh, I'm a life coach. And they get the response, well, what does that mean? And they say, well, I help people achieve their goals. This is fear talking. This is, I need 5 or 6 signs that this person is right for me before I go into my... But that's not it. It's not fear. It's that you don't have the go-to verbiage. Now, the response to that, I help people achieve their goals, is going to be real great. So let's have lunch. I mean, total disconnect. You're totally blowing the opportunity. If someone asks you, what do you do, then there's a 99.9% chance that they are your ideal client. It's up to you to take the ball and run with it because, once again, they are struggling, not you, and you need to get them, not the other way around. Now, it could have gone so much differently. What do you do? Oh, I'm a life coach. Well, what does that mean? Oh, I help people achieve their goals. That's not going to ever get you booked. I mean, that's what my system does. It teaches you to create a free gift that easily leads to a beginner level program. When your ideal client has finished your free gift, they know who you are, they understand your message, they know the problem you solve. And so if they resonate with you, which if they're your tribe, they will, and if they're not your tribe, you don't want them anyway, they'll sign up for your beginner level program because they want your expert solution. They want what it provides, which is the benefits. They're ready to take the next action step without you spending any time at all on it. You see, you don't spend any time. It's all downloadable products. If you meet them in person, all right, you handle it a little differently. Now, in the next class, part 2, we're going to explore tying your story to the problem and learn how to bring your benefits into the conversation. But right now I'm going to demonstrate the right way to handle the question, what do you do when you know you have longer than 30 seconds and you really want to bring it home? Because your funnel's in place. Okay, your funnel is the free gift and the beginner level program that we're talking about in this class today. Your funnel's in place. So all you really have to do now is lead them down the path. If they're your ideal client, they'll appreciate it because you have the keys to the castle that they need to get into. You solve the problem they have. So this is how that's going to go. So, Teresa, now what is it that you do? I heard you had something new to offer. Well, you're right. I do. I'm the Learn To Queen. I help you so that you can help others by getting your unique message out, using your background and experiences and my system into a downloadable form so that you can change the world. Wow. Well, that's a lofty goal. I know it is. But it's people like you that are changing the world, one person at a time. And if you have a downloadable product, you can help more people. So are you interested in finding out more about my easy 10-point system? Oh, what do you mean, an easy 10-point system? Well, I mean, aren't you fully booked as a hypnotherapist? I mean, helping people overcome addiction? Yes. And I cannot even imagine working one more thing into my schedule. So you're really busy, right? Well, what if you could create a product that took none of your time and could potentially expand your business by 100%? Oh, my heavens. I mean, do you have time for that? How can you do that? Well, I tell you, I offer a 15-minute free consultation to explain it, but right now I would be happy to just sign you up for my free gift, and you can look through it. Would you like to do that? Well, what's your free gift? Well, it's called Message Clarity in 30 seconds, and it shows you how to do what I just did. Get the full attention of your ideal client in 30 seconds or less. It's only 7 pages long, and you can read it in 10 minutes. Well, yeah. Good. Now you have your first yes.